Morning everybody, it's Helen. Just wanted to say hi. We're moving on to that next video in our yellow of the Rainbow Warrior Path on our third chakra, Manipura. It's very early. I'm out on my dog walk with Shadow, who seems to be moving with the early light these days. It's getting earlier and earlier. But I just wanted to show you this amazing view that we have here. So if I just do a 360 for you, I've got a little rock. There's the other mountains. I've got a little rock in front of me here, but it is a wonderful. We've come up to the top of the hill. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you really. And the topic I wanted to talk about today, and this has been brewing around in my mind for like a week, is fear. And the reason I want to talk about fear is there are so many people in the world right now living in it every moment of every day. And regardless of what you think about what's going on in the world, regardless of whether you are a conspiracy theorist or you believe everything that's out there, it doesn't really matter if it's impacting you and you are living in fear. To be honest, I think that's the fallacy of the whole thing. You are allowing the darkness to win if you're living in fear in either direction. So encouraging you through this video, hopefully, to understand the anatomy of fear and actually move out of it into a place of love, because that's where we all need to be. That's what the new earth will be about. And so I want to give you that motivation today. So the first thing I wanted to talk about fear is a few of the things I've picked up over the years that help me face them. And one of the things that people quite often say to me is, oh, you're really brave, or you're really courageous, you just kind of go for stuff. And I've learned to do that. I don't think that was my natural being as a kid. I'm just laughing at myself as fear is coming up. I'm stood on a rock and I've got the dog pulling behind me. So yeah, a very real example of what physical fear is like. And our fear mechanisms in our body are actually designed on that physical fear to keep us safe physically. So we have this rather archaic, heavy-handed fear system that kicks in to keep our physical body safe. Now, most of us in today's world do not get chased by bears on a regular basis. So that is kind of outdated. So most of the fears that we face are sort of psychological, emotional, thought-based. Which to me is really exciting for the reason that it means that we have a window into managing them. And the first thing I want to remember, or help everybody remember, is fear is simply that emotional response in the body. It's not actually real. It's often, fear comes up in response to an imagined situation. So a thought that we've had, that our head has cascaded through the body, and we're now having a physiological reaction to it. So firstly, if you can remember, this is not real. This physical experience of fear I'm having right now is not real. It's simply due to a thought. You take some of the power out of it. And the second thing is, once you've done that, if you can explore that fear and get to the bottom of what's causing it, quite often it's not as big as you think. And actually you realize that you've got everything you need to handle it. So for example, in making these videos, I have a fear that I will be negatively judged by people. You'll look at me and go, oh my God, she's so full of sleep and she's so fat, and what she says is of not any value. And worse, you might put that in the comments on the video, right? So my fear is of being judged. Well, when I think about that, how would I feel if that happened? I would probably feel worthless, disappointed, ashamed. Some of those quite deep-rooted emotions would come up. I'd feel embarrassed. And if I asked myself then, so not only how would I feel about that, but what would it mean to me? It would mean that people didn't value what I was saying, that I didn't have any value as a person, that I wasn't good enough, and perhaps, I would feel like a fake. Okay, so that's my meaning. And at the bottom of that, what is it that I don't want to find out? I don't want to find out any of that is true. My ego wants to keep me safe and keep me believing that I am a worthwhile, authentic human being. Okay. So when that happens, and I realize what it would mean to me and what I don't want to find out, at the bottom I can think, okay, so if that happened, what would be my response? And in truth, I know, okay, so I might shut down for a little bit. I might have my freeze or my flight. But eventually I would realise that it's not that I don't want to stop being who I am, I just want to learn more so that I can relate to you better, that I can pass on better information for you. And I would conquer that fear by facing it and actually experiencing that negative feedback and then responding to it in the way that I always do, which is to learn and to grow and to just simply be more of me. So I just want to encourage you then today, if fear comes up for you, and it comes up for us in all sorts of strange ways, some of it can be quite subconscious as well, built in from when we were children. Just notice that feeling. Can you ask yourself, right? Remind yourself that feeling isn't real, and then go through the questions. What would I feel like if that happened? What would it mean to me? What do I not want to find out? So what's at the bottom of this fear? And if that happened, do I have the tools and skills to face it? And usually the answer is yes. Usually you find that strength and that courage. And then your task is to step in and do it anyway. And what you find when you face a fear is there's this beautiful green field waiting on the other side called life. And there she was, pulling me off the rock. So when you step in and jump into life, exactly as I've just been pulled into right then, that's when the magic happens. And that is exactly why I get to come to you on this beautiful sunny morning from Spain, because on this journey I have faced hundreds and hundreds of fears about myself, and it's led me to this beautiful life that I get to create right here. So I encourage you to take that leap to be a warrior or a warrioress today, and just go for it. Face those fears, feel them, and do it anyway. All right, sending you all courageous days. Lots of love.